They definitely skip over the Bay Area, but it's all good. I used to trip off it. I used to be offended, but it's like, nah, we're going to build our own movement. We're going to build our own market here. You feel me? And I love Lecrae. I love KB and all of them. And it's like, okay, you don't got to bring your own tour here, but I'm going to book you for this one.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying?
And you did.
Yeah.
And I have a date for GLOCHELLA Part 2. Can I give it to y'all?
Yeah, give it.
Because listen, I ain't gave this to nobody yet except for my wife.
Say it to that camera right there.
So exclusive.
Exclusive.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Solafide Podcast.
Yeah.
Just to explain, I actually should explain that a little bit. Solafide is sola fide, just means faith alone. It's a type of teaching, but it's not. It's very old school and like Lutheran or something. But I just like the name Solafide, so that's why I kind of went with it. You know,
That's fire.
yeah,
Come
just
on,
standing
Pastor.
on faith alone. But I have Emilio Sarabia on the podcast with me as a co-host,
Yeah.
and we have none other than the Glow Nation, the president of Glow Nation.
Undefeated.
Presidential addressing the Glow Nation.
Come on.
Miles
Marketing.
Minnick on the podcast with us. Can I get a round of applause for Miles?
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me, man. It's a blessing to be here for sure.
Man, it's been 10 years since I've known you.
10? Wow, it was 10, huh? 10 years.
I can tell you, I know the specific because I have a crazy memory, but it was like, it stuck out to me the way I met you. I met you at a Napa concert in, I was 19 years old. You're 29, 28?
29.
I'm about to be 29, so we're the same age. So I was 19 years old, and we met at a Terrence Richmond concert in Napa. Funny enough, we were both, I think, going to the Art Institute. Am I right?
Yeah.
So go ahead and pull your
AI.
mic a little closer. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was going to the Art Institute of Sacramento, and I remember talking to you about going to the Art Institute of San Francisco.
Yep.
Wild.
Yep.
That we would be doing kind of the same thing, and you were studying film.
Yes.
And so was I. So clearly I'm still doing it,
Dang.
dude. And I think you were acting at the time and
Yes.
doing music at the same time. So you were very multiverse in the way of, picking certain lanes to work within and work out your talents within them. And I think it's just built up your music career so much because your music videos are fire. I think you have a great eye for spotting talent. And then I also think like, even just like the acting that kind of goes into it, you know what I mean? On the music video, that's something that never really is talked about.
I've seen this man with a megaphone on set.
Yeah, and so you have good on-camera presence, your music is fire, and you have a good eye for film in general. So I think, and there's a fly in here. Somehow I got in here.
He's trying to get his 15 minutes
Yeah.
of fame. Yeah.
Do you remember that at all?
Bro, I remember it. I remember the concert in Napa, and I think that was the concert where we brought our drama team to come and do a skit during Terrence Richmond's set. Because what folks don't know, because I don't really talk about it much, I was a drama director at my church, bro. Every single week, we would rehearse. I would write plays.
New Birth?
We would perform it in front of New Birth, at New Birth. And that really shaped me and molded me to become a leader of creatives and to really implement my ideas for, presentation. You know what I mean? And I like what you said about multiverse. I never heard somebody say that before about being multi-talented.
You're Miles Morales, bro.
Yeah, you better preach, boy.
Hit that multiverse.
Yeah, multiverse. And what I always tell people is like, I feel like I'm a good rapper because I was a good actor. And I feel like I'm a good motivational speaker or a preacher because I'm a good rapper. It almost like feeds off of each other. Like me being an actor, I could turn on the energy, immediately for the music.
One talent kind of feeds the other almost.
Absolutely. It's like a circle, a sphere of gifts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So man, I
Wow.
appreciate you, bro.
How did you meet Miles?
Well, I met Miles at my Honest release party in 2018. And I believe that AJ, my boy right here, right next to me, he actually set up the whole event. I came to you with a pipe dream of
I remember that.
Yeah, I came to you with a pipe dream.
Let me preface this a little bit. I just loved your heart, dude. I loved like the stuff you wanted to do, and I thought you had a good sound. You know what I mean? So I'm like, let me help him out with his music a little bit, and I've done a lot of concerts and stuff. Like, let me help just like facilitate so that he could just play like the headliner
God sent you, bro. I needed that like so much. Like that's one thing that, real quick, between me and you've always believed in me from the jump. And so, I mean, in my opinion, you had no reason to, but thank you. I appreciate it.
It was the heart,
you.
bro. So yeah, for
Yeah, and I was
sure.
like, if AJ is endorsing them, then he must be good people. And
appreciate
so,
you, bro.
yeah, that set it up. Yes, sir.
And then so
we started there.
He came to
Yeah, he came to my honest release party, and you came through and destroyed it in a way that I've never seen it. I was 2 years into performing, and I remember seeing you and thinking like, wow, that's how it's done. Like you brought people, you got on stage, and there wasn't a dry moment. Everything was well thought out. And the Hyphy Christian hip hop, I got to see it for myself. And back then, it felt like for the first time. And it inspired me to become a better performer.
Wow.
It took a few years, but it inspired me to get to that level of just crowd engagement.
Yeah, you there.
However that is there. Thank you, brother. And at that point, I remember I just felt the Spirit of God tell me like I have to just see what our relationship would be at that point. I felt like drawn to you, same way that I felt drawn to AJ. And every time I felt this specific Holy Spirit feeling, I've known that it was going to be prosperous, you know, whether it's just like relationship wise or whatever. And at that point, we went our separate ways. And then around 2019, I'm not sure when I first sent you this, but around late 2018, early 2019, I sent you a song called Smoke. And you were at a point where you had no reason to just work with me, and you did. And once we finally got that track done, I drove to your house. We worked on it. We knocked it out in a day. Mixed and mastered by myself. Like God just moved throughout that whole thing. And to this day, I still see people coming up to me like, yo, Yours and Miles song goes crazy. And so it's been a blessing. And then shortly after that, me and you, I believe you came to Modesto, California. And that's my city. That's where I live. And
Motown.
Motown. Be careful. Be careful. I'm not from Modesto. Don't come for me. No, but basically at that point you had hit me up like, yo, bro, do you want to come through? I'm performing at this church called The House. And that's actually where I got baptized when I was in high school. Yeah, crazy. And at that point, I was like, yeah, anywhere this guy is, I want to be if I can make it. And so, I mean, you know me. Like, you know me that I was there. Like, whatever it is, I'm there. And so this one was down the street. And so I was like, sure. And man, it's losing me. It's called Born Again.
Born for this conference. Yeah,
Born
that
for this
joint,
conference.
Bruh.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And at that point, I went there, and it just led to us. You kept hitting me up. Do you want to come here and you said, do you want to come here and just ride with me? And I felt like I should serve you during that time. So I was trying to help you out with your merch table, just be useful any way I can. And at the end of the day, we ended up 2019 and early 2020 rolling together a lot and kind of building a family on the road. It was the first sign of like what the Glow Collective would be eventually, just by you collaborating. And that was amazing. I learned stage presence, how to talk on the mic, how to keep it short but simple, but also get to your point. And also how to just command an audience, control a room, command the audience. And so, yeah, that's how me and you got to know each other.
Yeah, and there's a lot more that happened after that too. Many trips, many flights.
Yes, sir.
Many long nights, long drives, many hotels, all of that. So grateful for you, bro. A Millie Glow.
Yes, sir.
So I guess I want to know here, what even first got you into music?
Like in general?
In general.
In general. So I come from a musical family, right? I was an introverted kid. As a kid, I was just being in a corner, just observing the room. You know what I mean? And watching my cousins rap, watching my uncle produce. My uncle turned my grandma's garage into a room just like this. And every day he would make music, he would produce, he would rap, and he would put my brother on and my cousins on. And so I just grew this natural love for it. And with that, I was also growing up within the Hyphy movement. Like when I say within it, I mean smack dab in the middle of it. Like I had the gold teeth, the dreads, the RP Mac Dre hoodies, the big jabos. Like I'm doing all the dances. I'm showing
And
up.
cue up the picture of him in dreads with gold teeth.
Cue it up.
No,
It
just
up.
kidding.
I'm at the DJ Amen functions before
Yeah.
people knew who he was. He put me all over his page. Like, bro, I was that dude in that culture. So with me being influenced by the Hyphy movement and me having a musical family, inevitably, eventually, music was gonna start to come out of me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I came out of, because we're the same age. We were just talking about this. I came out of like that Hyphy movement. I think we both were at the tail end of like where it was dying out, but people in the Bay were still rocking with it.
For
because
sure.
during that time too, in like 06, 07, when like E40 started going like national and got out of Oakland, it was like you were hearing them with like T-Pain and everybody else, you know what I mean?
Lil
and
Jon,
then
yup.
yeah, and then they were spreading more of like that sound where before it was like a lot of Timbaland type sound on the radio and stuff, which is cool, fire, but you know what I mean? We had to like shine for ourselves in the Bay.
Yeah.
And I grew up in Fairfield, California. So you're from
I'm from Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, okay.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
25 minutes east of Oakland.
So I had a lot of like Federation and stuff growing up.
Federation.
Yeah. Mac
Rick
Dre
Rock
and-
Beats.
Yeah.
I
Rick
grew
Rock
up on
Beats,
E40 as well. Yeah, my dad, that's all I heard. E40, Mac Dre, that's what I grew up on. Like when you said
Yeah.
06, 07, he went national, to me, he was already like it.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I grew up on like Slurricane and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like old school E40. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, my pops put me on all of that. Like,
See,
we used to
I-
drive around NWA, E40.
Yeah. So my dad's
Sprinkle
from
Me.
my dad's from Compton. Like grew up, born and raised, youngest of 14. Like in Compton, like they all lived in like a 2-bedroom house type of thing.
Wow.
Yeah, he's bro.
Shut up,
yeah.
Pops.
But my dad like went to school with like a lot of like I want to say like Snoop, E40, I think, or not E40. Ice Cube was like too young, you know what I mean, to be his age. But like Snoop Dogg and a bunch of other people were like in school with him at the time. It's crazy.
Wow. It's crazy, bro.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Kind of pivoting off like what we talked about whenever we were talking about like your concerts and how they were always so fire. Because I spent time with you even after our first experience. And every time you got on stage, it didn't matter if it was 5 people. And it has been 5 people for some miscommunication reasons. And it being a big crowd, you always just killed it. And you went crazy. There was crowd participation. So in this past year, you have increased on Instagram tenfold and now have passed 100K and more and beyond.
I think you're at like 130 now, bro.
Yeah,
Not
130,
that numbers are everything,
131,
but that's like
yeah.
an amazing achievement for people to
Yeah,
get your reach out there.
celebrate the wins.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that being said, in this past year that happened, so how have your crowd interaction changed? Because has it, or basically I'm asking, has the crowd interaction changed, or do you feel like it's just always been there?
You know, for so long I would prepare my sets with the mindset of nobody's gonna know who I am out there.
Oh, yeah.
So let
I
me
remember that.
prepare this as I'm going to introduce new music to people, right? But now more people are starting to know the songs already, and so it's like I'm changing my approach a little bit. You know, I'm approaching some shows like they're gonna know this, so I'm not gonna intro it. I'm gonna just play it, and they're gonna rock with it. But for some shows, like when I'm in like a new state, like if I'm in like Delaware or something, it's like they probably not gonna know who I am here.
Okay.
So let me make sure I introduce it this way and all of that.
Yeah.
But man, it's just like with the platform growing, I don't have to do everything I used to in terms of teaching the choruses every time.
Because that's got to be so nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, hold on. You guys haven't heard this song yet, so I'm going to teach you real quick. I know how you get on
You taught me
stage, bro.
that. Yeah, you taught me that, and it's helped me tremendously. But it's also like it's stressful to have to be like, okay, how am I gonna teach? What's the angle on this song? But if you know it already,
But once you master like your technique with it, it just flows. Cause like I would turn every song into a sermon, low key.
yeah,
Like big stepping. You really big stepping when you taking steps towards the Father.
Come
You
on.
big stepping when you stepping away from pornography and depression, all of
Yeah.
that. And so like I would segue that into teaching the hook, and they'll just flow with it because of the
Yeah,
the ministry moment.
it's also relatable too. Like you're
Yeah.
connecting with them on a different level other than just this is a dope song. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah. Why do people call you the younger version of Steph Curry?
So man, I used to. That's crazy you brought that up.
Yeah.
That song I said that on is like
Z4L.
9 years ago for real.
That's a Terrence Richmond song too.
It sure is.
I gotta shout him out, bro, because that's like, I mean, me and him have like twin birthdays. We have the same birthday. But that was my youth pastor. I met my wife when we were like 13 years old.
Praise God.
And we weren't dating or anything, but she was in the youth group with me, and he like taught us up how to be respectful to like the opposite sex and stuff, and you know what I mean. So I thank God for freaking Terrence Richmond, man, because that dude had helped me out in so many different areas.
So I'm gonna get into T Rich in a second, but people call me the younger Steph Curry because like I used to work at the bank and I would have suits on every day or whatever, and all of my customers be like, "What's up, little Steph? What's going on, little Steph? What's going on?" I think it's the complexion and like the colored eyes or whatever, but also like Steph Curry, dog. He's like the prince of the Bay Area.
Oh yeah.
Like he's our Superman for real.
Yeah.
When it comes to the culture and what he's done for the region, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's an honor to be compared to him. And hey, I don't care what nobody say. Within the next year, I promise you, that brother gonna be walking down the tunnel with a God Put Me On hoodie.
Yep.
I guarantee it. I'll guarantee I'm like one person away from him right now.
He supports a lot of the Christian artists.
He sure
too.
do. He supports Bizzle. I got a joint dropping with him.
Lecrae.
And Cray. We just dropped one with him. It's like, bro, I'm telling you, we're gonna be courtside with his family. Like, I promise you, bro.
I bet you his kids already listen to your music.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised.
No doubt.
Yeah.
For real. It's a matter of time. And when he shared me, it's over. When he posts me to a story, it's over. I'm gonna run that up.
Imagine him hearing a Bay Area Christian hip hop artist that he already likes
Anthem.
raps.
But look,
Warriors
back to
Anthem.
Terrence Richmond. So Terrence Richmond, T Rich, Rev Rich, was my youth pastor after he was yours.
Yeah.
He came to the Bay Area and started youth
Were you
pastoring
a
us.
youth or youth leader at that time though?
So I was a youth leader.
Yeah,
Well,
because I think you were like just turning 18 or 18.
Yeah. But I wasn't going to be a youth leader if it wasn't for him. I walked into the youth room to check on and see what was going on. I was like, this dry up in here. But before I could walk out, he was like, young man, we need you in here. And so he pulled me in, and then he pulled me aside after service and said, I want to mentor you. I want to pour into you. And I accepted. And I would serve this man. Like I would go to his house. I would help watch his kids. I would run his merch table. What's interesting is he was a rapper. He was a traveling rapper and a
dope
youth
rapper, too.
pastor. So I seen the blueprint, like how being a youth pastor, being a youth ministry could help flow into being a Christian rapper.
Yep.
And I served that before I became that. And I feel like God is honoring me now because how I honored him in that season.
And he's doing it in Canada now.
In Canada. I just came back from Canada a little while ago. He had me up there. It's crazy up there.
Yeah, bro.
Super lit.
Yeah, his thing
Shout out
when
Not Clyde.
when he left to Canada, he told me, he's like, there's no real kingdom churches out there. So that's what he wanted to go plant, was like kingdom-based churches. You know
And
what I
he's
mean?
doing it.
Yeah.
He's doing it.
How many times have I talked to you about Rev Rich?
Oh yeah, he's like, I feel like he's my Rev Rich. Like
Yeah.
seriously,
Because I would tell
Especially-
him stuff that Rev told me, for music stuff and all that too.
everybody out here in SAC basically has come from that stem of Rev Rich.
And you know what's funny? A lot of people talk about my stage presence and how I perform. I got all of that from him.
Wow.
How he controls the crowd, how he teaches the choruses, how he makes sure every performance he does well.
Energy.
The energy. The intentionality of it.
Yeah.
And so he's my cheat code. for
Another
real.
thing you got from him, I would say, is now you're in that role as a leader, and you don't, just because all this is going on around you, you have a lot of things going on musically. You're a mentor to people, and not just in a way of making music. It's you're a mentor to people with life, and like you're real, and that's something that kind of like sounds like what you just said, like the way you were explaining him to me, that you're that to me.
Wow.
In a lot of ways.
Wow.
For
So
sure.
GLOCHELLA was last year?
GLOCHELLA Part 1 was last
one.
year.
Part 1.
So
Yeah.
GLOCHELLA was wildly successful. Like wildly successful.
It was a glowment for sure.
Where is this event going in the GLOCHELLA
Yeah.
verse?
The GLOCHELLA verse, the Gloverse, is going from the west to the world. To the world, not saying we're going to take it out of Cali, but I mean as far as like worldwide impact. Like literally God gave us a vision to start something here in Cali, and that vision turned into a massive movement. Last year, we announced GLOCHELLA at the end of March, and GLOCHELLA was at the beginning of June. We sold it out within less than 3 months. And that's not a small building. It wasn't a small building.
It was packed.
We had some of the top Christian rappers in the world come to the Bay. And you know what everybody said? They said, this was my favorite show of the whole year.
Yeah.
All the rappers, like, we got to come back, we got to do it again, we got to do it again. And the response from the people, crazy.
Yeah.
And so we'll be a fool to not run it back. You feel me?
Come on.
We got to run it back.
Is there a GLOCHELLA tour?
Ooh, a GLOCHELLA tour would be crazy. But I wouldn't say it's a GLOCHELLA tour. There will be a Miles Minnick tour coming up, but not a GLOCHELLA tour. But we are doing GLOCHELLA Part 2. We got to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all noticed this, but a lot of these Christian tours, these Christian rap tours, they skip over California. And what is up with that? They definitely skip over the Bay Area. But it's all good. I used to trip off it. I used to be offended, but it's like, nah, we're going to build our own movement. We're going to build our own market here. You feel me? And I love Lecrae. I love KB and all of them. And it's like, okay, you don't got to bring your own tour here, but I'm going to book you for this one.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying?
And you did.
You
like
feel
when
me?
You talking reach, you did.
And so we gonna keep that going. Like the hunger is there. Even folks in LA trying to bring the festival down there. And like I'm like, okay, what if we don't bring GLOCHELLA to LA, but we do something called Glowember in November? What if we do this and we do that? You know what I'm saying? So the market is there and the people are ready for it. So we gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
And I have a date for GLOCHELLA Part 2. Can I give it to y'all?
Yeah, give it.
Yes.
Because listen, I ain't gave this to nobody yet except for my wife.
Say it to that camera right there.
So exclusive.
Exclusive. 2023. The GLOCHELLA Christian Hip Hop Festival presented by the Glow Collective is coming back to California July 1st. July 1st. And let me tell you this right now. Tickets sold extremely fast last year. I would hate for you to be left outside or on the roof trying to get in. Get your tickets immediately. Get them immediately. Surprises on deck. Your favorite artist on deck. You know what I'm saying? It's lit. And if you want to perform, hit us up. Let's get it. Yeah.
I think that's our first soul exclusive.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
Exclusive. Besides my songs, but those don't count. They don't.
Yeah, we just hit erase on those all the time. No,
Oh my gosh.
Wow, but that's amazing, man. I wanted to say, lastly, about GLOCHELLA. I've recently been in contact with producers around the world. Nigeria, New Jersey, New York, Atlanta. And everybody finds out I'm in California. And then I tell them I'm like an hour and a half away from the Bay Area. And they go, wait, that's where GLOCHELLA is. Oh, man, one day we got to meet. I'm going to fly out to GLOCHELLA. Everybody marks their calendars to come to GLOCHELLA. It's like that's an event that they want to come out from across the world. So I just wanted to let you know that. Because that's a development that happened recently.
What's incredible about what you just said, when I went to Rev Rich's church in Canada, I performed. This group pulled me aside after, like, wait a minute, you're throwing GLOCHELLA? I'm like, yeah. They're like, we're coming to America to go to GLOCHELLA. Like, I had no idea it was you. I'm
coming
like,
to America moment.
yeah, it's coming to America moment. I'm like, look, I'm giving you and your whole friend group VIPs for this.
Come on.
Period. You coming to a whole different country. And that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, if you build it, God will bless it. Period.
Amen.
So what is Hope California? Can you tell me about that?
Oh my goodness. Check it out, man. Shout out to Mondo, Pastor Mondo. So this man of God had a vision that revival would break out in 10 cities at one time in California, but not just in 10 cities, in 10 stadiums in one day in California, right? On April 1st of this year, there will be 10 packed out stadiums in California, sparking up revival. And guess where I'm going to be at? I'm going to be in Anaheim at the Honda Center.
Sheesh.
At the Honda Center. It's going to be so lit. You got hundreds of churches partnering up for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know y'all see the revival happening in Kentucky and all of that.
Yeah.
But if you look throughout history, revival has sparked in this state like no other. When you look at Azusa and how that came about, and that started many different denominations, and how God's spirit broke out and people started getting healed miraculously and all of that. And even oh my goodness, like the coincidences that would take place, even with my song Azusa, how it came out the day that Pastor William Seymour prophesied that 100 years after his death, Azusa revival will begin again, and then we released it that same day, not knowing it was the fulfilled prophecy. You know what I'm saying? And so check it out, bro.
I didn't even know that.
Check it out, bro.
I did not know the connection with that and the 100 years past.
I'm saying it's deep. it's super deep. So it's gonna be myself, a group called California Will Be Saved. They're a revivalist worship group. They go to all the cities, Hollywood Strip, preaching, worshiping. They baptizing people at Venice Beach, going insane. And I'm also playing a part in picking artists for like different cities. So in SAC, they're gonna be at the Capitol. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they didn't get to go to one center, but they're gonna be at the Capitol steps. It's gonna be massive.
That's huge. I mean, that's honestly right in the middle of SAC. So that's where you would want to be. Golden One Center is
Gotta be there.
dope, but you know what I mean? It's all indoors. If it's like outdoors, dude, that's crazy.
And I think it's amazing because that's where the governor of California is.
Oh yeah.
it's the heart.
Come on.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So like worship and God's presence gonna fall right there at the Capitol. And there's no telling what's gonna break off in this in this city, which is gonna reverberate throughout the state.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I think Mission's gonna do that one. I hit him up for that. I think he's gonna do that one.
We have a show coming up at the Capitol on March 12th that we partnered up
he
with.
told me about that.
Bro, I'm so excited for that.
That's crazy,
You gotta
bro.
probably, if you're around, tap in for it at least. Come check it out.
I think I'm gonna be in Tahoe.
Oh,
But yeah.
that sounds cooler actually.
That does.
You had a very controversial post that came up.
Mm-hmm.
I would say controversial and more of like the comment, like more of the comments had stuff to say than what you did wasn't controversial, but they made it controversial by having a torn debate in there.
They did.
What made that so controversial for them?
Well, man, bro, I really get like stirred up when people bring this up. So that post you talking about, it was a concert clip of me performing.
We could actually pull it up. Do you want to pull it up real quick? I had an idea for us to hear it, but we won't be able to hear it right now. Yeah. But what we could do is at least look at it because you can see the lyrics on the screen, and then they'll be able to hear it.
So
in
you
post.
was there, bro.
I love this post.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and hit play. Where's this at?
This is in Los Angeles, downtown LA, DTLA, at
UTC.
what's this called? The UTC. What does it stand for though? I know it's VO.
Hey, Amy, make sure it's unmuted. There it goes. Sheesh. Wifey, I don't touch.
I'm not your average.
Hey.
Okay, so
And that crowd got Jesus.
okay, it's wild, but check it out. So initially, when I put that on TikTok in 2021, it was the Christians that were offended by it. They were bashing me. This is demonic. This is not of God. This is ridiculous. This is this, that, and the other. I'm like, excuse me, what do you mean? Right? Like, we are literally on stage being excited about what God has done for us. You don't know how long I wasn't sober. You don't know how many times.
It's a personal testimony too.
It's your song.
It's a testimony about what God can do. And so what baffled me originally was believers being offended by it. Would you rather me be on stage talking about what I used to talk about?
Come on.
Music like that pulled me in to church, pulled me into who I am today. So for you bashing young people who express themselves in a way that's different than you express yourself, you're wrong, period. But when I posted it on Instagram, it didn't go viral with the Christians. It went viral with everybody else.
I seen that.
With everybody else. And so at first when I posted it, you got the Glow Nation going crazy a little bit, showing love. But then Instagram put it on a different algorithm.
You know what? I feel like they do that. Like I feel like a lot of the social media platforms cater us to a different crowd that will get more riled up, which is good for
and
us.
sometimes it's amazing. Like you got Queen Latifah and all these celebrities like rocking with it and all that kind of stuff, which is a blessing. But on here, bro, every single day I would get dozens and dozens of comments roasting me for this, coming from me. You don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't cuss. I'm drinking and smoking and cussing right now. If that ain't your wifey, you don't touch. What kind of, bro, you don't get no B words. You don't, I'm like, yo, you better chill, bro. And all my OGs was like, bro, don't look at the comments. Don't look at the comments. But it's hard not to look at them.
It's good to post and goes for sure. Like I'd say it's healthy, but it's so hard with this in your pocket.
No, it's hard. I turn all my notifications off, so I don't get them.
Me too.
But I used to go to the post and scroll through the comments, but I go to my general notifications and it's all there. Dude, what the F is this? Going crazy. But what baffles me is this. How is it the same culture that's roasting me and bashing me for this is in Lil Durk comments when he talking about murdering people, and it's love. It's love.
You get a lot of these.
Passionate support.
And the baby going #1 when he's a murderer.
So where do we get as a culture to where this is not normal? Well, this is not celebrated, but murder is celebrated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Robbery, treachery, toxicity is celebrated.
Wow.
I don't get it.
You were there for that?
I was. I was.
That was one of our best trips.
You guys did smoke out there, right?
We did do smoke after
Yeah,
that.
we did smoke.
You taught me how to perform that song that day because there was no like room to like, you know, have people talk.
Yeah. And shout out to my brother EGR. EGR really put me on for real, like with a lot of this stuff, especially with Victory Outreach. And I'm a feature on that song that we posted. You know what I'm saying? And one thing he talked to me about last week, I seen him last week for the first time in 4 years, by the way. Like, that's my brother. He's back. One thing he was talking about, which I think is very true, is everybody preaching something. Right? A lot of folks get at Christians because, yo, preachy, you're so preachy. But y'all be preaching too.
Yep.
Y'all be preaching, you know what I'm saying, promiscuity and drug abuse and all that kind of stuff, all on your music. If y'all could be bold about that, I'm going to be bold about God and what he told me to do and what he brought me out of. You know what I'm saying? So I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't cuss. If that ain't my wifey, I don't touch. You talk about all what you touching? I'm talking, well, man, I'm touching this Bible. I'm touching my destiny. I'm touching my calling.
Where did it become so wrong to be loyal too?
My goodness.
Yeah.
You going to roast me for this? It take a real man to marry somebody and stay faithful.
Yeah.
It take a real man, you know what I'm saying, to get a job and get health care and to take care of your family.
Preach it, dude.
You know what I'm saying? So if anything, I should be roasting these dudes out here that got heck of different baby mamas. I should be coming after all of them, roasting them because they can't get their stuff together.
Don't talk about that cat. No, just kidding.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, nah, brother, I'm going to stand on this.
Yeah.
And out of this, I made a song. I don't like to respond to stuff, but I made a song called Sober.
Ooh.
Called Sober, and I'm coming for it. Everything I just said to you, I put it in the music. And we finna drop that next week. Nobody knows but y'all.
We're gonna have to hear it after for sure, because unfortunately without the headphones we couldn't hear it. But
Oh my gosh, bro. I wanted to talk about
I got
the
them
lyrics.
right here next to me. I could just pass them out real
Yours
quick.
will work.
Oh, you guys won't?
No, you could. I'll get your reaction from it. Go ahead and put them on.
Oh boy, it's about to be great.
I'll co-listen from this side.
You co-listen.
Man, I pulled some of my favorite while he's grabbing that. I pulled some of my favorite comments from this post.
Oh, you did? Oh, please. I need that.
It said, so rap music turned Christian now? That's something. Lord have mercy on us. This one says, why am I getting recommended Christian rap music?
Heck of likes too, 700 likes.
This one says, you want Christian rap? Listen to Big Crit, DMX, or Nas.
Go. What did CC say? She said, Kingdom of a Culture. On my mama.
Oh, come on.
Go ahead, CC.
Shout out CC.
Yes, this one says, nothing wrong with living it out, your faith, but you're defining its worth by contrast in how others live their lives. You're in for a bad time. That is super attackish.
Very attacking.
That's the tip of the iceberg, bro. I've seen this like over and over and over and over again.
But it's like, how are you offended by this? I don't drink. I don't smoke. You don't know how many years I struggled with alcoholism. You don't know how many blunts I've smoked.
Come on.
How much money and time I've wasted.
You gave your life to Christ.
On weed.
You gave your life to Christ after you smoked.
God delivered me from all of this.
Come on.
How dare you try to bash me for this? This is my freedom song. God set me free from a lot of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's because you got them same demons I used to do, but you still dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to pray for you, but don't come for me because I've been set free.
Whew.
So the track is in the notes. Go to my notes real quick.
And I will say, this one post, A Silver Lining, it taught me negative comments are just as good. When you get the negative comments and the world starts to comment, that's how you know this is a good post.
Oh, they going to come for this new song, too.
It's like, yo, I'm cool.
Woo! They going to come for it.
Hit play. So we're not going to put this out, but we'll be able to get his reaction off of this.
Woo! All right, I'm going to need to make some room.
Produced by Tahi.
Mm.
Why they hating on me? Because I'm sober.
I could hear it. Oh my God. Sheesh.
From now on, bro, it's a new era. Like, when it comes to my music, I'm not just making slaps no more. I'm making slaps where I'm saying something.
Whoa.
I'm about to talk that talk on
There's
every
gonna be
song.
weight to it.
It's gonna be weight, and this is the beginning of that. I wish you could hear it, but you'll hear it.
I could hear it.
Really about to take this thing over. Really about to make the game over. A lot of people are calling this like vintage Miles Minnick. Because I used to be really, really like out there, bold with my stances. I kind of like got more fun with it. I'm gonna still be fun, but you gonna hear what I gotta say.
Do you think that has shifted because of the platform you're now on?
I think.
You did do that.
So really, Lecrae and John Keefe.
Are we done here? Sorry, I was vibing. My bad. Yo, I gotta hear that after. Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna play it after for sure. So what were you saying?
Lecrae and John Keefe really was giving me the game. Like what Lecrae told me, he said, is super dope to make the slaps. That's amazing. You'll stay booked to doing that. But what's gonna give you longevity and that cult fan base, and for you to be able to make that lasting impact, is when you pour out your heart in the music, when you give your story in the lyrics. And I said, okay, bet, say less. And I went on tour with John Keefe. He was saying the same exact thing. I'm like, all right, cool. From now on, what the world is gonna get from me is that real. And Emilio, with you just now hearing what you heard, how was that for you?
Knowing you and knowing your story in the past couple years, it hits home deep. Like, I know that you live this. I know that you went through all of this. And I got to see this real, like, first time, like, when you were posting all these things and I was seeing these things, I was feeling these things for you. And then to hear you say it and be like, when you said, can I quote a lyric?
Yeah.
When you said, like, put me on MTV, what was the next lyric after that?
BET, MTV, give me mic, let me speak. I'm gonna walk what I preach. I'm gonna boss in these.
So you said, I'm going to walk what I preach. Because if you look at that stage, they don't walk what they preach. I believe YB recently came out and was, I believe that's his name. Forgive me if it's wrong. But from NLED, the group. Anyways, secular popular music. He's crying because he's like, I push murder, I push death, and I know for a fact that I'm responsible for deaths because of my music, because of my impact, because he's reaching millions. And
That's gotta be a scary position to be in.
Yeah, and he was crying, and he's like, "There's nothing I could do besides just make music that is gonna change culture after this."
Yeah.
But to see you talk to, like, I picture like you talking to BET and MTV, like, what are y'all putting on here? Like, I'm gonna walk what I preach. Like, you don't want real? Like, let me on stage.
Yeah.
There's big impact, and like, you've already kind of touched this a little bit in your music when you started like doing Show Out, and I've heard like certain bars. When you talked about, we just talked about it, about being dead broke in Atlanta. I had a lead on my team, like in WYT, and you definitely lived what you just said. And when I hear that, I feel that, and it's something that I would repeat because, man, you could tell it's real. And even if you don't know Miles Minnick, you know that he's feeling and he believes and he knows that what he's saying is absolute facts.
Wow.
This is the most I'm excited for a track ever. I'm just hyped.
And I said, BET, MTV, give me a mic, let me speak. I'm gonna walk what I preach. I'm a boss in these streets, and your talking is cheap. The reason why I put those TV channels in the verse is because I know we're headed there.
Come on.
I know we're gonna get there. This is probably gonna be one of those songs that launches us to that level. This is not just a Christian song. This is a song that's gonna impact culture. And while we're talking about impacting culture, there has been a lid removing off of Christian hip hop to where it's being played everywhere by everybody. For Jason Tatum and Patrick Mahomes to share Caleb Gordon's song.
Yep, dude.
Alana Wadon.
For the Rams to have a cheerleading routine to my music, for them to do touchdowns to my music at every freaking game.
Yeah.
And
for
that was a
Lecrae
Super
to be
Bowl
in an
champs.
Apple and McDonald's commercial. What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
We out of here. And I refuse to believe that we got to stay within the sphere or the four corners of Christian hip hop. We breaking out of this thing.
And we ain't compromising the truth.
And we gonna change the world with the same message.
I met Lecrae when I was like 15. I had interviewed him backstage for a clothing line that I was a part of back in the day. And he gave me some advice, just like keep pushing forward, keep moving. And he also gave me the quote in person, off camera, of like, if you live for their acceptance, you'll die from their rejection.
Mm-hmm.
And that has stuck with me so much over the years, because I'm like, well, I don't really want to live for anybody
Me
else.
too.
You know what I mean? I kind of just want to live for God and kind of push his message forward. And whether it's being dumb on a podcast sometimes, you know what I mean? Or giving some weight to the content we're putting out, or Emilio putting his music on the podcast, you know what I mean? Like, I want to be able, or even just like the stuff I'm doing with Mission. I do a lot of missions videos. So like, I believe in the actual, I guess, mission that we're doing here. So, you know, that's kind of stuck with me over the years.
Yeah. And I love what y'all doing. Like, here.
By the way, welcome to all of you, know what I mean, man.
Yo, this is wild.
You gotta tap in with us, bro.
This is wild. I came here for the Brandon concert.
Oh, yep.
I think it was in August, and it was super lit, man. Mission gave me a little tour. It wasn't a full one because it was a show.
That's why I was gonna give you a tour. I wasn't sure if you've been here or not. You know. Yeah.
I still want a tour for sure. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
And with that, real quick, when you talk about your expanding with Sober and gonna reach new heights, new platforms, this is not the first time you've said this. You know, I remember a time in 2019 that trip in Atlanta where you were doing the Pluto video shoot with 1K Few, and I remember like we'd have these moments where like the day would be hectic, but then like everyone's crashing out, and me and you would be up talking for like 2 hours. And I remember just like you were the first person in my walk that I met that when I would say something crazy, you didn't flinch. And when you would say something crazy to me, at least crazy to what people would say, like, you ain't gonna do that, we wouldn't flinch. We'd be like, yeah, because we know our God. And like seeing you put in the work behind that as well, because I believe it takes stewarding whatever you're doing. I believe it takes consistency in your walk, being steadfast with following the will of God, being in alignment with the will of God, being at the right place, right time. You did it with Pluto, and then you leveled up that next year. You got one reach artist. I remember when you first told me about that, we were like tripping. And then the next year it was Show Out with Juan, and then another one with Wande, no big deal. Like I was like, oh, Miles not done. And then the next year, GLOCHELLA, and it's like, man, that's crazy. And then the next year, Instagram blows up 100K. I don't know what you were at. I think it was like 30,000.
I was at 25.
25,000. Oh yeah, you were
Yeah.
like 24. Like before it started like
Yeah,
going.
there's definitely levels to this, man. Like,
And you just don't stop.
each season has just been something new.
With that being said, okay, so go back to that moment when we were in the room and you were telling me your aspirations about like how big this is gonna get. We're about like 5 years later, I believe.
Pluto.
Close, 4 years later.
Pluto came out 2020.
But
we started rocking.
shot it in 2019.
Yeah, at the end of 2019.
So we're 3 years later. Your expectation and reality, how do they differ? And how do you feel about that?
I've always either been really inspiring to people or people look at me like I'm crazy because the stuff that I say, I truly believe it. And there's been a lot of instances in my life where I would speak something and it'll happen over and over and over. But here's the thing. I'm not just talking.
Yeah.
I'm not just talking. I want to get dreams from God, bro. Or I would get an inclination in my spirit. Like, I feel like this is really going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like the Lecrae thing. I been knew I was going to work with Lecrae. I been knew it. You know what I'm saying? And like when I met him in 2014, I put money in his hand. I said, here, I want to bless you.
Yeah.
He's like, what is this for? I said, I sow where I want to go. I said, I know we're going to work together one day. I know it.
Come on.
You're speaking that into existence, bro.
Yeah, I spoke it and I got faith. It's impossible to please God without faith. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm going to keep pleasing God with my words. And so with Pluto, I knew Pluto was going to unlock a door for me. Because at first we was just popping in KMF side with EGR in them.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm like, this gonna take us over here. You know what I'm saying? And then we do the Hovey thing. That's gonna level it up. The deal thing 3 weeks later is gonna level it up. And so I knew when I first began that God had called me to do amazing things, and God confirmed it in ways in my life that people may think is crazy, but it's not crazy to me. And so let me go ahead and say a few more things. We will win Grammys. We will win Dove Awards. What else? I'm about to do multi-movies, several films in the acting industry. I'm about to work with secular artists.
Which you do have IMDb credits.
Oh, I do.
Already. Yeah. You were in a show?
Oh yeah. Netflix on.
I was in a few films.
Yeah. That's so dope, dude.
And it's coming. And you know what's incredible? I was talking to my boy yesterday named Jermaine. When I was a youth pastor training up different actors and stuff, there was one kid named Jermaine. I'm like, boy, you gonna be the next Kevin Hart. Like, you really gonna take it there. He was hilarious, acting skills on point without training. He graduated from the youth ministry. I mean, grew out of the youth ministry, moved to LA. This brother, next week, is starring in one of the new Disney Channel original shows, but it's their first Black live action show, produced by the daughter from Blackish. This thing is getting multi-million-dollar worth of marketing and promo. It's gonna change the culture.
That's crazy, bro.
It's gonna change the culture. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, look, bro, this is where we headed. We gonna change the world.
So on that note,
praise God, man.
That's
amazing.
You worked a few low-end jobs in the beginning of your music career.
Oh, bless the Lord.
I think we all had those low-end jobs.
Working on it.
How did you stay motivated and focused to get out of those low-end jobs and continue on the path of getting to the next level in music?
Yeah, so really, I felt like God kept encouraging me by giving me glimpses into where I was going. Glimpses. Like, I don't know if you ever been through this. It's like, I would work at the movie theater and I would get a random show at a middle school. And after the show at the middle school, it would be thousands of kids swarming me for pictures and autographs. It's like, they didn't know who I was. I'm not a celebrity. But I'm like, nah, this is where I'm headed. I know this is where I'm going in my future. Right? So the glimpses, and I would just speak it every day. Like, working in a movie theater, bro, my coworkers would either be irritated by me or inspired by me. Because I'm like, look, y'all gonna see my face on these screens in these theaters.
Come on.
I would tell them that. And walking down the hallway, I'm like, I'm finna be on these posters. I'm gonna be over here. I'm gonna do this. And yo, the ironic part about that, the first movie I ever acted in premiered at the theater I was working at.
Wow.
The day I was working. So them same coworkers that was talking about me trying not to work next to me because I got too much faith where I'm crazy.
I remember your premiere too.
Brother.
Yeah.
Premiered it, dog. I'm working during the day. I leave, come back, suited and booted, red carpet, paparazzi.
Let's go, baby.
Paparazzi.
Praise God.
And we sold it out, the premiere. It was crazy.
Wow.
But check it out. That was a glimpse into where I was going. Because the next day, right back to work, still sweeping. But I was like, nah, I know the path I'm headed on. And you can hate it or love it.
That's going to preach, because that's preaching to me. You were my glimpse. All those trips we took, that gang convention, stuff like that. And then, you know, some other things after that. It takes that, because this is a marathon. It's not just like,
oh my gosh,
you don't just blow up. Like, God's gonna see if you're gonna stay and if your faith's gonna waver. So that I appreciate that.
I had to stay. So many people. I've seen so many people give up or fall into sin or get big headed.
Or go secular. Like, just flip the script completely.
Or flip the script.
Because I have a lot of friends like that where I was like, you're doing that now? But then, like, even then, their music and stuff just got worse, in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying.
Because that's when you'll find out who gives you the lyrics and who gives you the, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it ain't of us.
That's true.
I'm grateful that it took so long for me to get where I am, because during that waiting season, I got to see the rise and fall of a lot of people. So I seen what they did right, and I'm getting to avoid what they did wrong. So, okay, I won't do that. I'm not finna do that. But that right there, I'll do. But that, no, sir. And so there's wisdom in waiting.
I feel like this a little brother mentality. Like, I feel like, because I have all older brothers, I watched everything dumb they did, and I tried not to do that, you know? But that's like, it's important to be observant and to pay attention to what's going on.
Absolutely.
Man.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Before we wrap up today, man, I wanted to get into an advice portion. what's advice you would give to an artist that ran out of encouragement? I guess it's kind of also segueing off of, that low end job and trying to pursue a career at the same time.
Yeah, that's tough. I've definitely been there before. The Bible talks about you encouraging yourself in the Lord, which means we have the ability to encourage ourselves even if nobody else is encouraging us. Even if we don't have anything to point to that's going to encourage us. But listen, if you know you are called to this, don't let anyone, especially yourself, hold you back from going forward, man. Yeah, God, man, I'm telling you, like, if you just keep going, God will meet you there. I'm telling you, God is looking for faithfulness and consistency and stewardship. A lot of people ask me, like, yo, why are you working so hard or whatever? It's like, I don't see it as me working hard. I see it as managing what God has given me. If you just manage the level that you're on, if you just steward over the talents that you have, God will continue to increase you, and take you higher and higher and higher. You know what I mean? So, man, encourage yourself in the Lord, but keep pressing, keep going.
Hard work's a good investment with the will of God.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard.
If you work hard at what he called you to work at, that's the secret sauce. That's how you see people go further faster.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah, when a lot of folks work hard at the wrong thing. And then it's like you see them prosper later in life because they finally found it. But rare are those who find it early and they stick at it.
Some people definitely pursue the wrong careers, stuff they're thinking they're talented in, and have other talents for other things that
or stuff their parents made them go after.
Yeah, that's true. I have a friend at the church that definitely was an actor when he's a kid. He's not an actor no more.
That's sad,
you had a piece of advice you wanted to ask?
Yeah, I do have one, and I'm going to come at it from an artist perspective. So you've been through a similar journey of what I've been through around the same age. I'm 25. So basically what I want to ask you is this. So what would you say to an artist who's trying to make a living off music, and also say if they go through a dry spell of getting shows, how do you get established in getting shows? What's the first step?
That's a good question.
That is
it don't gotta
really,
be the whole answer, but like, what's the first step?
No, that's a really good question, because being full-time in music and you having shows, that will pay a lot of your bills.
Yeah.
It will pay a lot of your bills. And I would say how I did it, because psychology says you attract what you present, right? So I would take a lot of free shows. I would take any show I possibly could. I would get somebody to film it. I would make them film it at an angle where you don't see how big the crowd is, but it'll magnify the crowd.
I've been there for you before, actually.
You know what I'm saying? And I would turn them up. And I would take the hyphiest, most littest clip of that video, post it, be like, oh, it was lit in LA. Yeah, now booking.
Dude, you're a marketer.
Oh yeah.
You are I'm sorry, but you're one of the best marketers I know.
Wow, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. But I would do that over and over. Over and over and over. And you attract what you present. And I would also reach out to different youth pastors here and there.
Yeah.
And if you do good
Reach
at the
out.
shows they book you at, word starts to spread.
Yeah, word of mouth. That's what they call it, right?
Word of mouth
Yeah,
has got me more shows than anything.
Yeah. Yeah, because I would definitely be like, oh, Miles will kill it at a show. You know what I mean? Like,
Easy.
I will talk you up
It's a
to
lock.
anybody, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lock. And I'm glad you said that, because, man, that's something that every artist could take into account. I remember when I first started in 2016, I had a Party in the Park show, and I took it, and it was my first show, and I gave it my heart and soul. And that one show gave me shows for the next 2 years, just from going boom, 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 boom. And then after the pandemic, it slowed down, which is why I asked you how to get shows if you're not getting them.
Wait, let me give this. So when you do start getting those shows, or when you do start doing the free ones, steward it, manage it, maximize it in several different ways. How do you maximize it? You maximize it by getting the content. You maximize it by wearing your brand, wearing your merch. But you also maximize it by following up with the person who will let you perform. Sending them a thank you card. Sending them a thank you email.
Follow-ups are huge.
Follow-ups are huge. Giving them a piece of your merch.
Do you still do email lists? Is that important to you?
So here's a gem for those who use DistroKid. Whoever pre-saves your music, you have their emails in your DistroKid.
Stop.
So everybody you talk to, you better pre-save my song.
So I'm about to, for sober, I'm about to email blast. I never did it before, ever. But now that I have this whole database,
Yeah.
like I'm using this.
Yeah, why not?
Can I ask you how you do that? If it's a short answer,
Because
because I have no
I'll
idea.
send you the tutorial to
Thank
it.
you.
Red Tips put me on game.
Yeah.
Shout out Red Tips.
Is there?
Yeah, AOINOM, y'all better use that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, we're cooking up some stuff too. I'll share with you after the pod that you would trip out on. Is there any shout outs you want to give to anybody right now? Maybe who's kind of helped you out in your career, or maybe anybody that's just been there for you now.
Yeah, big shout outs to Shell T. Shell T in high school before I became a Christian rapper at all. She's seen something in me. She made me president of the Black Student Union. She prayed for me. She opened doors of opportunity for me. And to this day, she calls me to speak over me, to pray for me, and she believed in me since the beginning. Much love to you, Shell T. Shout out to my pastor, Chris Foster. Huge support. I stepped into church today, and he just loved all on me because we did the LA Convention Center 2 days ago. And he low-key used it as an example of like, how is it you doing this, but you coming to church doing this? Like, you serving at church, but you just did the freaking arena.
Yeah.
You know, and so much love to him. I don't want to forget anyone. I know there's somebody else. I already shouted out Pastor T. Big shout out to Terrence Richmond. And okay, right here. When I first got in the faith, I immersed myself around men of God, established, seasoned men of God. I give them access to my life. I allowed them to correct me, to mold me. One of the main people, his name is Minister Cy 4. He spoke so much into my life that now, even though we don't talk as much, whenever, low-key, he was the mentor of the PT, the Pastor Terrence. He was his mentor.
That's my boy too, from when I was younger.
Come on, because he was also at Calvary Christian Center.
But I think I knew him from Fairfield though, back in the day.
For real? Oh, I think he was in Fairfield.
Yeah, I think he used to lead worship at my church when I was a kid.
Oh, that's crazy.
Sacramento got it going on, man.
Wow. But look, even to this day, I hear his voice. Like when I'm like, what should I do? It's like I hear what he would tell me. And so him pouring into me back then is still paying off now. Much love to you, Pops.
Wow.
Anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
GLOCHELLA, July 11th. Holographic, the album went #1 back in Glowember 11th. That's crazy.
Can we give a round of applause for that? So it was
let's do it.
#1.
Let's go.
Super excited. And then we dropped a song with the GOAT of Christian hip hop. The song is called Big, featuring Lecrae. That came out January 20th. And that's glowing insane. And Sober comes out March 10th. And look out for the Glow EP. Look out for Hope, California. And I have a big concert in Las Vegas on March 31st. Tap in or tap out. Let's get it.
You going to Vegas now?
I'm going to Vegas.
You said March 31st? I might have to pull up.
Oh, it's going to be crazy, bro.
Hey, I'm a Raider fan. I gotta pull up. Maybe go see a stadium later.
Oh, so March 31st, and then the day after, we're doing a stadium.
What?
In Anaheim.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
we moving. So if you slide.
I texted you about this. I was like, bro, I don't know how you do that flight life.
2 days ago. 2 days ago, you were in LA. Now you're here.
That's wild.
Went to church.
The Lord named me Miles for a reason.
He named you Kyle's
He
Clinic.
put miles
but yeah.
on miles.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Well, come to the end. Do you want to close out the podcast for us?
So this has been my favorite episode probably ever. Thank you guys for tuning in and everything that Miles has plugged here. He is a amazing brother in the Lord, and he keeps it kingdom, period, but he also keeps it real. And I've never seen an artist on the West Coast do what he's done. So stay tuned because it's just the beginning.
It's just the beginning, guys.
This is Solafide.
Have you checked out the podcast before this?
I've seen your content for sure.
Wow.
We're global.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No, but
Yeah.
It's been
crazy.
popping up. Like I gave him the TikTok and I was like, bro, take it away. And then I've been just doing the Instagram reels.
No, real talk. Like, that's why I'm here. Like,
Yeah.
I could have
Appreciate
went
you, bro.
to other places. But it's like, no, I'm going to take the drive.
Oh, we know.
To
We appreciate you,
Jerusalem.
bro.
I mean, Sacramento. I feel like I'm driving to Jerusalem. But take the drive here because it's quality and you guys are sincere and what you're doing is effective. And so, yeah, man.
Praise
Appreciate
God.
it, bro.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have you in SAC, bro, because man, it's been a while since I've seen you, so I'm glad to have you back.
Oh, and I'm proud of you, man. You over here buying houses, selling houses, building houses,
Come on.
having children.
Yeah.
You're married. How long you been married?
5 years.
Come
Going
on
6.
now.
This is the right guy to be around right now in my life. Like I'm telling you.
He is that guy.
Yeah.
You always been very mature, very like
You too, man.
head on straight. Yeah.
Yeah.
John
two
3:3.
That new birth.
But all right, guys, it's been the Solafide Podcast, episode 7. We love y'all. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for tuning in.
Click everything in the description for everything Miles has plugged, and we will be back shortly. God bless.
And if you see a video right here, click on it
Yeah, click that video. Actually.
Immediately.
immediately.
Or
Immediately.
else.